Stop what you are doing right now. What I am about to tell you could literally save your life this weekend. We are 48 hours away from what meteorologists are calling the most dangerous winter storm in over a decade. And if you live anywhere between Texas and Boston, you need to hear every single word of this update. Before we dive into the catastrophic details, here is what you need to know immediately. Comment below right now with your city and state, and I will personally tell you exactly what to expect in your area. Do it now while you are thinking about it, because in 30 seconds, I am going to reveal which major American city could see over 1 inch of ice accumulation, something that has not happened in modern memory. Here is the terrifying reality. This is Wednesday, January 21st, 2026. By Saturday morning, over 60 million Americans will be directly in the path of this historic winter event. But here's what makes this different from every other winter storm you have seen. This is not just about snow. This is about a perfect storm of 3 devastating weather phenomena happening at exactly the same time. The latest 12 Zulu European model just confirmed our worst fears. The storm has shifted north. Some of days way, time on a stayed. And when I say shifted, I am talking about a 150-mile northward movement in just 24 hours. Do you understand what that means? Cities that were expecting all snow are now in the crosshairs for catastrophic ice. Communities that thought they would dodge the worst are now ground zero. Let me paint you a picture of Saturday, January 24th at 10 a.m. Heavy snow will be dumping on southwest Missouri. We are talking about the kind of snow that closes highways, that traps people in their homes. But that is not even the scary part. At the exact same time, the Red River Valley through Little Rock will be experiencing an ice storm so severe that the Weather Prediction Center, these are your conservative by-the-book meteorologists, are explicitly warning about ice accumulation over 1 inch in some spots. 1 inch of ice. Let that sink in for a moment. 1 inch of ice on power lines means total grid failure. 1 inch of ice on trees means they snap like toothpicks. 1 inch of ice on roads means you are not going anywhere for days, possibly weeks. And Dallas? Dallas is sitting right on the razor edge between rain, snow, and freezing rain. If the temperature drops just 1 degree colder than current forecasts, Dallas-Fort Worth could experience a freezing rain event that makes the 2021 disaster look like a practice run. Do not let your guard down if you are in Dallas. You are absolutely in the danger zone. Now here is your first reward for sticking with me. I am going to tell you exactly which interstate corridors will become death traps. Write these down. Interstate 35, near Dallas-Fort Worth. Interstate 30 from Dallas to Little Rock. Interstate 40 from Little Rock through Memphis to Nashville. If you have travel plans on these routes Friday or Saturday, cancel them right now. These roads will be impassable. And I do not mean difficult. I mean shut down completely. By Sunday, January 25th, at 4 a.m., watch what happens. The ice storm zone extends all the way up into Tennessee, Kentucky, North Carolina, South Carolina. We have got a heavy snow band developing across the Ohio River Valley, pushing into the mid-Atlantic and Northeast. This thing is absolutely massive. But here is the plot twist that is going to blow your mind. Yesterday, just 24 hours ago, we were forecasting over a foot of snow for southeast Kentucky. Today, we are looking at warm air pushing so far north that it could actually bring rain, not snow, rain to parts of Kentucky in January. The warm nose is creeping northward that dramatically. These northward shifts happen, but this is not normal model uncertainty. This is a dramatic reorientation of the entire storm system. I have got a feeling, and I have been doing this for 15 years, that we are going to see this shift back south by tomorrow. I just do not know how much. So we are planning for what the models show right now, which means a potentially historic snowstorm for the Interstate 95 corridor between Baltimore and New York City. Comment your location right now if you are anywhere near these cities. Baltimore, Philadelphia, New York, Boston. You need to know what is coming. Here is what genuinely terrifies me as a meteorologist. We are looking at a potentially catastrophic ice storm from North Texas through Arkansas into Tennessee and then extending over the Appalachian Mountains in Georgia, South Carolina, and North Carolina. The Weather Prediction Center does not use the word catastrophic lightly. They are scientists. They are cautious. When they start explicitly warning about ice accumulation over 1 inch, you need to listen. Let me explain why this ice situation is so uniquely dangerous, because understanding this could save your life. We have massive amounts of cold air pouring out of Canada, like a frozen river flowing south. But here is the critical detail. This cold air is shallow. It is not very high up in the atmosphere. It is basically creeping along the surface of the United States like a fog bank, except it is brutally cold air sitting right at ground level. Above this shallow layer of cold air, we have warm, moist air streaming up from the Gulf of Mexico. So picture this. Clouds form up high where it is warm. Rain starts falling. That rain is liquid water falling through warm air. Then it hits this shallow layer of cold air near the ground. But it does not have enough time to freeze into snow or sleet. It stays liquid all the way down. But the ground? The ground is 25 degrees, 26 degrees, 27 degrees. The air right at the surface is below freezing. So what happens? The rain hits the surface and instantly freezes on contact. Instant ice on every surface. Trees, power lines, roads, vehicles, everything. 1 inch of ice accumulation means a Category 5 disaster for power infrastructure. Branches snap, trees fall, power lines come down, and they stay down because crews cannot get to them on roads coated with ice. We could be looking at power outages lasting a week or more in some communities. The bullseye for this ice threat includes the Interstate 35 corridor near Dallas-Fort Worth, extending northeast along Interstate 30 and Interstate 40 into Memphis and Nashville. If you live in any of these areas and you have not started preparing for multiple days without power, you are behind schedule right now. Memphis, Jackson, Tennessee, Little Rock, and potentially Texarkana. These cities could see ice accumulation that brings down the entire electrical grid. I am not trying to scare you. I am trying to prepare you. There is a massive difference. If I were you, if I lived anywhere in that zone, I would not plan on traveling through Arkansas or Tennessee Friday or Saturday. Actually, let me be more direct. Do not travel through Arkansas or Tennessee this weekend. Roads will be impassable. Not difficult, impassable. You could end up stranded in your vehicle in below freezing temperatures with no way to call for help because cell towers lose power too. Now let me talk about another critical zone that keeps me up at night. Asheville, North Carolina and the surrounding Appalachian region. Yes, forecasts show less total ice accumulation here compared to Memphis. Maybe half an inch instead of a full inch. But here is why this area is uniquely vulnerable. Trees, dense forests, power infrastructure strung through mountainous terrain. It does not take as much ice to cause catastrophic problems when your entire electrical grid is hanging from poles, going through heavily wooded mountains. Half an inch of ice in Asheville could be just as devastating as a full inch in Memphis. Vegetation comes down onto power lines, transformers blow, and because of the terrain, repair crews cannot easily access the damage. If you are in the Asheville area, please take this seriously. Get prepared now. And everywhere in between, while the entire state of Kentucky might not be in the highest threat zone, there will be pockets that get significant ice accumulation and extended power outages. If you are highlighted in pink on any ice threat map you see from the National Weather Service, you should be taking preparations right now. And I mean right now, not tomorrow, not Friday morning. At the 3-minute 20-second mark, I am going to show you exactly how much snow each major city can expect. But first, let me tell you what is driving this entire historic event. We have a crazy high-pressure system coming out of Canada. This thing is literally dragging Arctic air, North Pole level cold, down over the United States like a bulldozer. This high-pressure system is pushing cold air over the Gulf of Mexico, and this cold is not going anywhere. I have mentioned this in multiple updates, but it bears repeating because people keep asking. After this storm passes, it is going to be colder than it has been in over a decade for many locations, and it is not going to warm up the next day, not even in 2 or 3 days. This cold pattern has serious staying power. We could see several days, maybe even a week or more, where parts of the South do not get back above freezing. Think about that. If you lose power in Memphis on Saturday and it is 20 degrees outside, and it stays in the teens and 20s for the next 5 days, that is a genuine survival situation for some people. There is so much cold air in place that we are already seeing signals for another major snowstorm after this one. I am not going to discuss that yet. One disaster at a time. But understand that we are locked into an intense winter pattern that is not going anywhere anytime soon. Okay, here is what you have been waiting for. Snowfall totals from the national blend of models. Write these down. Oklahoma City to Wichita, Kansas. 8 to 12 inches of snow. Heavy, wet, back-breaking snow. The kind that collapses roofs if you do not clear it. Amarillo, 8 to 10 inches possible. Wichita Falls. You are probably a bit too far south for the heaviest snow, but 3 to 4 inches is still likely. And remember, you are in that transition zone. Catastrophic ice is still on the table. Dallas. 2 inches of snow in current forecasts. But everyone in Dallas needs to understand, you are right on that line between precipitation types. You are at extreme risk for freezing rain. North of Dallas, Bentonville, Arkansas. 8 inches of snow. That sounds realistic based on current model data. There is going to be a connecting band of heavy snow that the models have not quite figured out yet. You see this huge area of over a foot of snow in one zone, then another bullseye farther east. Those are going to connect. There will be a thin corridor of over 12 inches of snow, possibly cutting through St. Louis, Jonesboro, or anywhere in between. We just do not know exactly where yet. Springfield, Missouri. 8 inches of accumulation is definitely possible. Nashville. This is where the forecast got really complicated in the last 24 hours. Yesterday, we were discussing over a foot of snow for Nashville. Today, we are talking about more warm air, more ice being the primary concern. Snow is less of a worry right now, but we are still 3 to 4 days out. Things could shift back tomorrow. Current forecasts show 5 to 8 inches of snow between Nashville and Clarksville, with significant ice on top of that. It is going to be a complete mess. Lexington, Kentucky, still looking at around 12 inches. Pikeville, Eastern Kentucky, 8 to 10 inches. Cincinnati, 10 inches. And then things get absolutely wild on the East Coast. We are talking about a foot of snow or more from Richmond all the way up to Boston, extending back to Williamsport. 10 inches in Pittsburgh. Now, I think this might be slightly too large of an area. I definitely believe we are going to have a swath of 12 to 18 inches of snow somewhere on the East Coast. I am just not completely convinced it will cover this entire massive area. So prepare for more than a foot of snow if you are in Washington, D.C., Philadelphia, New York, or Boston. But if you are in Williamsport, Harrisburg, a bit farther inland, I am not entirely sold that we will see these extreme totals that far west. I could be wrong. Models change. But right now, picture that high snow zone as being slightly smaller, more focused on the Interstate 95 corridor. North Carolina, South Carolina. The big snow event is not going to happen for you based on recent models. Ice is now your primary threat. Raleigh to Greensboro. 2 to 4 inches of snow. Just north of Winston-Salem, some locations could potentially see 6 inches. But your biggest problem is ice. Ice accumulation that could leave you without power for an extended period. Comment below with your city right now, and I will give you a more specific forecast for your exact location. Seriously, take 5 seconds and comment. I read every single one, and I respond with personalized forecasts. Let me talk about when this all starts, because timing is critical for preparation. Friday, January 23rd, we already have an enhanced risk of winter storm conditions from Oklahoma City to Little Rock. That is when this gets real. If you live in that zone, your last day to prepare is Thursday. That is tomorrow. Friday morning, precipitation begins. Saturday, January 24th. This is the big day. This is when the most people get impacted. If you do not care about weather normally, you will care on Saturday. I guarantee it. Hold me to that. You will absolutely care on Saturday. The enhanced probability area is likely going to shift north on the next update tomorrow morning, which I will have for you bright and early. And then we have that day 5 enhanced risk all the way on the East Coast, from Richmond up towards Boston. This is also likely going to expand with our morning update. Here is what you need to do right now. Today, Wednesday afternoon or evening, depending on when you are watching this. If you are in any of the impact zones I have mentioned, you need to take specific actions. Number 1. food and water. Assume you will lose power for at least 3 days, possibly longer. You need non-perishable food that does not require cooking. You need at least 1 gallon of water per person per day. For a family of 4 planning for 5 days without power, that is 20 gallons of water. It sounds like a lot. It is not enough if you actually lose power for a week. Number 2. Heat source. If you lose power in 20-degree weather, how will you stay warm? Do you have a fireplace? Do you have wood? Do you have a backup generator? Do you have multiple layers of warm clothing and blankets? People die in these situations. I am not being dramatic. When the grid goes down in Arkansas or Tennessee during an ice storm and temperatures are in the teens, people genuinely die from hypothermia inside their own homes. Number 3, medications. If you or anyone in your family requires regular medications, get those prescriptions filled now. Pharmacies lose power too. Number 4, cash. ATMs do not work without power. Credit card readers do not work. Have actual physical cash on hand. Number 5, phone charging. Get your devices fully charged Friday night. Get a backup battery pack if you do not have one. When the power goes out, your phone is your lifeline. Number 6, fill your vehicle with gas. Gas pumps require electricity. Once the power goes out, you cannot fill your tank, and you might need that vehicle to run periodically for heat. Number 7, bring pets inside. This should be obvious, but every winter storm, we see animals left outside in life-threatening cold. Now, let me address the elephant in the room. Some of you are thinking this sounds like fear-mongering. Let me be crystal clear. I am not trying to scare you. I am trying to save you from the nightmare scenario of being completely unprepared when this storm hits. There is a huge difference between healthy preparation and panic. The Weather Prediction Center does not issue ice warnings over 1 inch unless the threat is real. The National Weather Service does not put out enhanced risk days unless the data supports it. These are not meteorologists trying to get clicks. These are government scientists with decades of experience who are deeply concerned about what they are seeing in the models. I have been tracking winter weather for 15 years. I have seen dozens of winter storms. This setup is uniquely dangerous because of the combination of factors: massive ice potential, historic snowfall totals for major cities, and behind it all, Arctic cold that is going to lock in for over a week. Here is something else you need to know. We are already seeing another signal for another major snowstorm after this one. I am not going to give you details yet because we need to get through this one first, but the winter pattern we are locked into is real, and it is persistent. The cold pattern is not a one-day event. It is not a weekend thing. This is a sustained Arctic outbreak that is going to dominate weather across the United States for at least the next 10 days, possibly longer. Let me give you the day-by-day breakdown one more time, because this is critical. Friday, January 23rd. Enhanced winter storm risk. Oklahoma City to Little Rock. Precipitation begins. Last chance to prepare. Saturday, January 24th. This is the big one. Maximum impact day. Ice storms raging across Arkansas and Tennessee. Heavy snow from Missouri through the Ohio Valley. The Interstate 95 corridor from Baltimore to New York starts getting hammered with snow. Sunday, January 25th. The storm continues. Coastal low pressure develops off the East Coast, amplifying snowfall totals for New England. Ice continues to accumulate across the South and Appalachians. Power outages spread. Monday, January 26th and beyond, Arctic cold settles in. Many areas stay below freezing for days. Power restoration efforts hampered by continued ice on roads and extreme cold. Do not wait until Friday morning to start preparing. By Friday morning, grocery stores will be chaos. Gas stations will have lines. Generators will be sold out. The time to prepare is right now. Comment below with your city and state, and I will personally respond with your specific forecast. I am monitoring the comments section, and I respond to as many as I can. This is not just about views or engagement. This is about making sure you have the information you need to keep yourself and your family safe. Let me show you one more critical piece of information. The engine driving this entire historic event is a massive high-pressure system coming out of Canada. This thing is dragging air from the North Pole directly over the United States. It is acting like a bulldozer, pushing this shallow layer of dense, cold air southward over the Gulf of Mexico. And here is what makes this particularly dangerous. That cold air is going to stick around. It has staying power. We are not talking about a cold snap that lasts 36 hours. We are talking about sustained cold that could keep temperatures below freezing across the south for 5, 6, 7 days straight in some locations. If you are in Memphis and you lose power on Saturday when it is 22 degrees outside, and Sunday it is 19 degrees, and Monday it is 23 degrees, and Tuesday it is 25 degrees, you are in a survival situation. That is not an exaggeration. People unprepared for extended cold without heat are at genuine risk. Here is what happens during extended winter power outages that people do not think about. Pipes freeze and burst. When power comes back on, your home floods. Food in your refrigerator and freezer spoils. If you have a sump pump in your basement, it stops working and your basement floods. If you have an electric well pump, you have no water at all. Not just no hot water, no water at all. These cascading failures are what turn a winter storm from an inconvenience into a disaster. I need you to take this seriously. Share this information with family and friends in the impact zones. Make sure elderly neighbors are prepared. Check on people who might need help. Tomorrow morning, I am going to have another update for you with the latest model runs. We will see if this northward trend continues or if things shift back south. I am also planning to go live on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday to give you real-time updates as this storm unfolds. Subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Turn on notifications. This is a rapidly evolving situation and you need to stay informed. The best part of following along with these updates is the community. Thousands of people from all across the country sharing their observations, their photos, helping each other prepare. That is what this is all about. Final thoughts before we wrap up. I know some of you are in areas that might not get hit as hard. Maybe you are on the fringe of the impact zone. Maybe models shift and you dodge the worst of it. But preparation is never wasted. Having extra food, water, and supplies on hand is smart no matter what. And for those of you directly in the bullseye zones, Dallas, Memphis, Little Rock, Nashville, Asheville, the entire Interstate 95 corridor from DC to Boston, you need to be ready. This is not a drill. This is not hype. This is a legitimate, historic winter storm that is going to impact millions of people. One more time, comment your city below and I will give you a personalized forecast. Let me know where you are watching from. Let me know if you have questions. I am here to help you understand what is coming and how to prepare for it. Tomorrow morning, early, I will have the next update with overnight model runs. We will see what the 12 Zulu and 0 Zulu models show. We will track any shifts north or south. We will refine snowfall totals. We will update ice accumulation forecasts. And then Friday, we go live. Real-time coverage as this storm begins. Saturday is going to be intense. Sunday, we track the coastal development and the impacts on New England. This is going to be a weekend that people remember for years. Make sure you are prepared. Make sure your family is safe. And make sure you stay informed. But here is the teaser I'm going to leave you with. Remember when I mentioned that there is already another signal for a major snowstorm after this one? Well, if current long-range patterns hold, we might be looking at back-to-back historic winter events, possibly even a third system the following week. The pattern we are locked into is that persistent. I am not going to give you details on that yet because I need you focused on this weekend. But just know, this might not be a one-and-done situation. This could be the beginning of the most active winter weather pattern we have seen in over a decade. Stay tuned for tomorrow morning's update. Stay safe, get prepared, and comment below with your location so I can help you understand exactly what to expect in your area. I will see you in the next video. This is far from over.